Get my intro voice ready. I've got a list. Oh, okay, we're online. Welcome back to Been There, Watch That. We are on episode number 81. Check us out at beentherewatchthat.com. You can go back, check out all our reviews from our past 80 episodes. See where we fall, see if you agree with us on, hits like Mad Max, Home Alone, American Beauty, Sound of Metal, Ocean's 12. I mean, we really cover the gamut. And this week, we're going into our first animated one, I believe. Not completely animated, but heavy CGI in this one. You guys might remember this film from 2009, Avatar. Fan pick this week. If you ever...
Yes, random generator.
If you ever want to send in anything, recommendations, stuff that we should review that we haven't, just check out YouTube, Twitter, or Facebook. Just type in BTWT Pod and reach out to us.
So, Avatar.
This was a pretty groundbreaking movie, 2009.
Yes.
I remember, it was a big deal. Cameron Crowe breaking the mold again.
Something James Cameron, is that right?
Or yeah, James Cameron, sorry. He broke his own box office record, CGI feature. You guys know how much it made at the box office?
Oh, it was a boatload of money.
2.9 billion.
Crazy.
In 2009.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that we were dealing in billions then, but
it was like unheard of.
Is that internationally or just U.S.?
I don't know.
I think it was just U.S. alone, I think.
It's crazy though. I mean, man.
It was big time 3D, one of the
CGI
bigger 3D movies where you'd go and put the glasses on. They still do those?
Every once in a while,
yeah.
I think it's kind of went to the wayside.
Yeah, I mean, wow, what a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
I still can't get over it. I mean, we watched it again, and I was just like, yeah, I kind of remember why this was such a big deal.
But this was a first time watch for me.
Yeah, what'd you think?
Well,
let me ask you a different. Did you know it was CGI before you watched it?
Yes, I knew it was CGI, but I did not know the storyline.
Okay.
All I knew was it involved blue people, and that's all I knew.
And it wasn't the Smurfs.
Yeah.
It's like really big Smurfs, sort of.
Yeah. Interesting.
That's kind of a cool thing, and just to jump into a random observation from the movie, just like how much bigger they are than humans. It's kind of cool. Just the different scale of the Na'vi, which is what these blue guys are called, and because they can pretty much carry a full-grown human around like a little baby. They're like 8 foot tall people.
Like a baby.
8 foot tall blue people.
So, Joe, you want to give us a rundown on the cast?
Sure can.
All right.
The movie's about a paraplegic Marine dispatched to the moon, Pandora, on a unique mission becomes torn between following his orders and protecting the world he feels is his home. The movie stars Sam Worthington as Jake Sully, and he's known for Terminator Salvation and Clash of the Titans. Sigourney Weaver plays Dr. Grace Augustine, and she's famous from, of course, the Alien movies and Gorillas in the Mist. Michelle Rodriguez plays Trudy Chacon, and she's known for the Fast and the Furious movies and SWAT.
Yeah.
Matt Gerald plays Corporal Lyle Wingfleet, and he's known for Dexter and San Andreas, and that is your casting call.
Oh, man, really? I got to throw in there Stephen Lang, who plays the general guy, the main military guy.
Okay.
And Giovanni Ribisi, he plays in a lot of movies. Plays Parker Selfridge, the main business guy. Those are pretty big names now. Now, back then, they may not have been, but...
And Stephen Lang did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, he looks military, he acts military, he's got the voice for it.
Yeah, he was just...
I was a little disappointed with Giovanni Ribisi.
Yeah.
Just because he seemed young to be in that position.
Yeah.
But...
You see him in... I've seen him in a number of things. You see him like Saving Private Ryan or something, maybe. I don't know. You see him around, I never knew his name or anything, just like, oh yeah, I recognize that guy.
He was in, he's done several. I'm going to look him up now. You got me curious.
Now, just a heads up when we...
Sneaky Pete Show, Boiler Room is what I know him from. He was in Gone in 60 Seconds. The Offer is a new one he's in.
Later on in the show, I do have some would you rather's.
Okay. Okay, then. He's in Lost in Translation. Yeah, anyway. So.
Yeah, and the main guy, Worthington, I mean, he's not somebody I like recognize or would be able to point to know where I've seen him or anything.
Yeah, Matt Damon passed on that role because of his commitment to the Bourne series. What a miss on a payday.
Yeah.
But
hey,
I thought Worthington did a real good job of
yeah,
like
he was
Oh yeah.
like he sold the whole him in a wheelchair thing. Like it didn't seem forced or anything. It seemed like he was totally. That seemed real. That he was.
Now Worthington was a fairly established actor in Australia, where he did TV shows and a horror movie. But he was living in his car in America when he auditioned for the Avatar.
No way.
Yeah. 6 months later, he got a confirmation. He got the job.
Crazy.
But the movie took 4 years to make from pre-production all the way to release.
Really?
Yes.
Then we just had the newest one, the sequel, come out recently.
Yeah.
Wonder how long that one took.
I don't know, and okay. Let me ask you guys this, without us spoiling anything, and I'm not asking for popcorn range or anything like that. It's way too early.
Mm-hmm.
But after seeing this movie, would you guys be intrigued in watching the sequel?
No.
I wouldn't go out of my way,
Okay.
but
Cause I'm kind of torn. It's like part of me wants to go see it, but then another part of me is like, could they have messed it up? Because this one.
if I saw it in the red box, I'd definitely get it. I think just because my mom likes these movies. So.
But you wouldn't go like to the theaters and see it. It's not theater
I
worthy.
definitely would not. But I haven't been to the theater to watch a movie for 10 years, so, got to take that in mind, too.
Did they have it here at the Roby in Spencer, West Virginia?
Yes, for some reason I vaguely remember that being on.
I think
the,
I missed it. I might have gone to that one, but probably not.
Yeah. I just, I don't know. I feel like the second one would just be a rehash of the first one. We're going to fight to save our world for whatever reason.
Yeah, that's kind of my thoughts. Is like, you pretty much covered everything
Yeah.
up to this point. So
I mean, it's kind of like the ultimate battle, so I don't know.
I guess.
I will say that's the one thing for me that the movie was predictable. Guy goes in with wrong intentions, maybe bad intentions, gets swayed by the locals. I mean, we've seen this story time and time again. So, as outstanding as the movie was for the CGI, and even James Cameron had said without Gollum, Gollum kind of paved the way for what CGI could do because he wrote this movie, I think, back in like 1994, but it needed advanced CGI quite a bit. And
Right.
after Gollum came through with the rings ordeal, then he's like, okay, we can do fully CGI now.
Yeah.
So, 8, 9, 10 years later, it's a go. So
Right.
for that part of it, I do appreciate it. But for the story, I'm kind of like, oh man, I saw this coming a mile away.
right.
I don't know. Did you see it coming?
Kinda. What really intrigued me was when they was talking, when James Cameron brought up the point, or Sam Worthington, sorry, I got my names mixed up. When he brought up the point, it's like, look, we're the intruders. These people are just trying to defend their land. Here we are acting like we're the good guys, when in reality we're the bad guys. It's like, you know what? He's absolutely right.
Yeah.
Because the movie kind of, it doesn't lean you, but you almost portray yourself as like, okay, well, these people, these military people are trying to take over this land, and you don't really think anything about it until it's brought up. It's like, look, this is these people's homes. They're defending their land. I'm like, you know what? He's absolutely right. If turn the tables, if you're in that situation, you'd be doing the same thing. So they're not the bad guys.
Yeah. And that's what got me, because the story is predictable. Bad guys coming in, doing stuff for money, taking over something that's beautiful and mysterious. And I kind of wish, at one point, Sigourney Weaver's pleading is like, listen, the precious element, what was it called? It just escaped me. Unobtainium?
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you gave it a name that, described
The name was kind of cheesy. Yeah.
Yeah.
For whatever it was.
cheesy name, and and I'm like, she's making her plea there, but she didn't make it good enough.
Right.
I've been like, listen, the technology advances for medical will outlast this precious metal you're going after for ages and ages. Which is kind of the story. There's a story with, oh shoot, what's the Scottish guy that played 007?
Oh,
Sean Connery.
Okay.
Sean Connery's in a movie in the jungle. Same exact storyline. Finds a cancer, a flower that gets rid of cancer, but yet loggers are mowing down, where it's at in the jungle, South American jungle. Same story. The medical advances could way outweigh the short-term gains here for finances, but yet the greedy people continue, and it's a battle, it's an uphill fight, blah, blah, blah. So, not that the movie was bad, but man, storyline predictable.
Yeah.
I did think it was cool, some of the different animals, and I really thought it was cool how they took their hair and, interweaved with the animals.
Yeah, I
and
thought that was
nature.
kind of weird, though.
I mean, it's weird, but, the idea of connecting with nature more was what intrigued me.
Now, here's an interesting fact. Most of those animal noises heard in the movie
Uh-huh.
are actually recycled dinosaur noises from Jurassic Park,
Nice, yeah.
notably the T-Rex and the Raptors.
Don't reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
And, Fox executives actually asked Cameron to cut out the tree-hugging hippie crap in part of one of the deals. They're, like, going too deep in environmental theme here.
Yeah, I mean, there's no getting around that. It certainly does have a bit of a political bent to it. If you can get past that and not too bothered by that. I mean, definitely, like you said, David, pro-environment. Let's not destroy our world. And we need to be more in touch with nature, all that sort of thing. But did you guys look at the budget?
I did not.
No, I have no idea.
Want to guess?
2009. I'd say 50 million because there's tons of computer work.
No, I'm going to say over 500 million.
No, really?
Somewhere in the middle, 230.
Jeez Louise, that's a lot of computer work.
Well, here's
And made 2.9 billion. That's crazy.
yeah, some of the CGI scenes took an average of 47 hours to render.
So, I mean, the way they made it was they overlaid. Like, that's when you see Jake Sully as his avatar form, that's him acting, but with CGI totally.
I would assume so.
I
Yeah.
think that's how they did it.
Well, and here's what's crazy is they computer generate even just the littlest things like Sigourney Weaver's cigarettes. Put CGI.
Yeah,
It's just like,
I saw that. Yeah, Sigourney Weaver just took a toothpick and then they put it in there because she didn't want to actually have anything to do with cigarettes.
yeah. Which I can't argue with that, but it's just like that little intimate details like that to me are just crazy to think.
Well, yeah, I mean, and I think about it like I would hate to be an actor that had to smoke
Right.
because I've never smoked a cigarette and I just don't want to.
Right.
So, but I mean, if you're paying me to, I don't know.
Yeah, even if it's fake, I think they use some sort of fake ones that don't actually have any like nicotine or
Okay.
tobacco in them, but
Good. Yeah,
but
I
you still have to puff on it. a little bit.
I'd feel sullied by that. I'd be like, Tom.
Yeah.
Well, for those out there that have like no idea what Avatar is about, like the whole word Avatar is basically when a human gets into this box. They have this technology where they can
Some sort of
link in, like do a neural link where
Yeah.
when you're in this box, you're like inside the brain of a huge blue guy.
Yeah. It's basically virtual reality before virtual reality became so popular.
So yeah, you're running around the jungle, jumping through trees as this huge guy, but your human body is in just like this, looks like a tanning bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
That's funny. It does look like a teddy bear.
Yeah.
But I mean, did either of you guys think it was kind of odd that like the real Na'vi, the real blue people, were just like okay with these like fake versions coming in?
Well, I
Like
thought-
they knew that they weren't real. I don't know. If like some like cyborg showed up that looked like a human, I don't think we'd all like necessarily want to hang out with them. We'd be like, what is this guy up to?
Yeah, okay, so I thought, okay, so I'm glad I wasn't the only one, because I thought that was weird. It's like, they're not real,
Yeah.
Well,
but yet you accept them?
they had to though because they were mowing through their land, and it's kind of like I equate it to Native Americans and not to get political, but Native Americans and the English, you know, when they came to America, they're there. You have to deal with them, whether you like it or not, you agree with their philosophy or not, you have to deal with them.
Right.
So even though the Native Americans got burnt time and time again, they still showed up and signed treaties.
You
know
bring
what I
it,
mean?
you bring up a very valid
The
point.
devil's at your doorstep. You got to deal with them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can't just shove it under the rug. It's not going to go away.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because what they call them, Skywalkers.
Yeah.
You know, the Skywalkers are here, regardless of what form they come in. We have to deal with them.
Mhm.
And I thought it was eloquent the way they did it, because they talked about, you know, that you don't bring a Skywalker to their tree, which they did, which ended up being a mistake.
Right.
And they had to get over the. They had to explain somehow the language difference, and they kind of threw out at one point like, "Oh, did you go to the school?" Like kind of insinuating that when the humans got there, they started setting up schools and teaching
Yeah.
English to the Na'vi. But
And see, that's one thing that just drove me bonkers through the entire movie. It's like, these people had their own language, and you want me to sit here convinced that this blue whatever understands English, really? That was a huge red flag for me. It's like, come on now. Now, if the entire movie was back and forth between English and the Na'vi language,
yeah,
yes, it'd be annoying, but I would get it. It would make sense.
Yeah.
And then have like maybe somebody that had semi figured out the language and interpreted it. I could buy into that. But this whole ordeal of the Na'vi speaking English, I'm like, come on now.
hmm
It's like a bad episode of Star Trek. It's like we get these aliens from these weird planets and they speak perfect English.
well, yeah, and they kind of would do kind of like the broken English too at some points. You know,
Yeah, it's like they
try to make it seem like, oh, they don't know it very well or something. But
yeah, they just couldn't pick a lane. It's like, are they really good at English or they're-
Listen, they only had 1,000 words of Na'vi. Dr. Paul Frommer, who's a linguist at Southern California, he invented the language.
Oh, and like we would sit here and try to figure out what all 1,000 words are. Listen, you could go the whole time, and guess what? I would
Fans-
believe it.
Here's the quote: "Fans are definitely learning to speak it thanks to apps and websites."
Jeez. Well, I guess since Klingon's a thing, this has to be too.
That's what I was going to say. Trekkies do the same thing, man. They speak
Klingon.
Klingon, yeah.
this
How
is
funny.
mostly a green screen movie. Do you know if they did any of this in like? Did they shoot any of this in the on location at any sort of
I would.
certain place?
I'm assuming it was all CGI. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Now, if you wanted to know, if you go to a party, for instance, and Na'vi are there, if you want to know if they're a human avatar or not, human avatars have all 5 fingers and eyebrows. Na'vi only have 4 fingers, no eyebrows. So, Joe, when you show up at this party and they're all speaking the language, you just look and say, "Hey, listen, pal, you're human and I know it.
Yeah.
You have all your fingers and
Yeah.
eyebrows.
Let me see your hands.
Start talking English."
Yeah.
Yeah, funny. Huh.
Yeah. We talked about we talked about how much this money grossed and became the highest grossing film in 2010. Do you know what movie surpassed it? The record has been broken.
Really?
Yes.
2009. Man, I'm getting old. I don't know.
It took almost 10 years to break it.
It's 2019, so
Yeah.
right before COVID.
Some sort of Avenger thing, probably.
Yeah,
Yep.
you're right.
Avengers Endgame.
Oh wow. Yeah.
But this film retook its title thanks to the 2021 re-release in China, making it the 5th film in history to break the record multiple times.
Really?
And it falls in line with The Birth of a Nation, which was released in 1915, broke its own record in 1915 and 1940. Gone with the Wind, which was released in 1939, did it in 40, 63, and 71. Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, released in 77, did it in 1977 and 1982. E.T., which was released in 1982, did it again in 83 and 93.
Hmm.
So,
Good old ET.
yes, so Avatar, I mean, it's sitting in the same category as some pretty heavy hitters.
Yeah, that's. And I got to be honest, I feel a little bad that I don't like it more than what I did.
Yeah,
Because I know it's an outstanding movie.
for it to be in the same category as, like Gone with the Wind.
Mhm, yeah. Breaking records, having the notoriety it has.
Yeah, but me personally, I don't see it being in that same category.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is it a good movie? Yes, but is it a classic?
Yeah, I mean, it was groundbreaking. So I feel like we've had another movie that we had the same conversation of, you gotta appreciate it for what it is.
Right.
For you, Dave, the storyline was just a little bit too predictable.
Yeah, it's just predictable.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw it once before, but watching it again, I was just like, ugh.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even the guy that had all the training and went to the schools to learn all about the Na'vi, you know, he's mad at first, but then he starts helping him because he's a good guy, you know. And,
Yeah.
And the soldier plays a predictable role. I'm here for the country, you know, and soldiers, gung ho. And then all of a sudden gets the insight, falls in love. You know, and the general figures him out, punches him in the face.
Yeah.
They'll throw him in the plank.
They have the duel at the end. It's kind of cool, the big, like, Metroid things that they were in, like, fighting. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, of course, the tree's going to be the epicenter of this big battle. Predictable. Which, I mean, you know, most good stories are.
I think, the story, I definitely agree, is not hitting you with any total surprises or anything, but it's effective for what it, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
It moves it along in, like, a kind of predictable way, but works, you know. Isn't terrible. It's not terrible.
It's not terrible. I
just,
think if we watched this in 2009, it'd be a whole different deal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I think it'd be blow your doors off. Don't care what the story is. But now that we've been around CGI for so long, I mean, you're talking 10, 14 years later, you know, so much has been done with technology that I'm not as impressed.
But let me ask you guys this. Is this a valid reason to watch it now versus then? Because at that point, if you watched it then, the wow factor would have completely blurred your vision of an honest review.
Oh yeah, I agree. I mean that's exactly where I'm sitting. You know,
Yeah.
I know the value of CGI and what a groundbreaking ordeal this was. I see why it was, you know, what did we say, 600 billion or something like that?
2.9 billion.
Yeah, 2.9 billion, almost 3 billion.
Yeah.
I see why it was in that.
The day it came out in 2009, if you went in there and put your glasses on and totally got sucked into the world with stuff flying around you, yeah, it'd probably be.
Oh yeah,
You'd
it'd blow your mind.
You would look past, like, maybe the little bit of predictability of the
Best
story
thing
and
ever.
stuff like that. Yeah, you'd be so into, like, the spectacle of it that.
Yeah, I think might have enjoyed the movie better if I was able to see it in 3D. This is one of the few movies that I think I could probably enjoy more in a 3D environment.
Do you know if
Yeah.
they still make 3D TVs, Joe? Because
Oh, no,
it says here that you know, this movie coming out resulted in, like, manufacturers releasing 3D TVs.
Really?
No, that kind of went the
Came
way of the
and went.
dodo, yeah. So
Yeah.
let me bring up this point that somehow we have not brought up for discussion, which surprises me.
Yeah.
The runtime on this film.
Oh, it's long.
Yeah. But yet we haven't discussed it, and we've not
Yeah, I mean,
we've not praised it. And we haven't
earlier.
bashed it yet. Which surprises me because usually we've watched shorter movies and we've screamed about the runtime. So I'm anxious to see where we are on that.
I didn't want to bring it up necessarily because I feel like it's a negative at this point, and I feel like I'm already too negative on a really good film.
I watched it up until the final battle, and then I stopped it and came back to it, like, later, maybe even a day later, because I knew it was what was going to go down, kind of.
Yeah.
So it was a logical place to stop and come back. Yeah, the big rhino type things that came through at the end, that was kind of cool too.
Yeah.
They tied back in, like, when he first gets to the world, he comes across this, like, huge looking
Yeah.
rhino, weird hammerhead shark looking animal, and she's basically like, don't try to shoot it because bullets won't do anything with it because it's got this armor all over it. Well, that comes back in later at the final battle. They're riding them. That's a little weird too, that animals that were trying to kill people before, suddenly they're, like, all on the same team. Like, they're riding those, like, big saber-toothed tiger looking things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how they did
Halfway
that.
through.
Yeah. That's more that it just doesn't make sense. It's like
Everything came to the rescue when it has to.
yeah.
Taming the flying dragon type thing is kind of cool too, though.
Yeah.
because you have to like fight with it and get it to.
Well, if you're going to pick a poignant scene, and I love to throw this one out there, but if
Yeah.
you were going to, what would it be?
Hmm.
What sums it up for you? How would you describe this to someone else and be like, all right, listen, you got to watch this. This is why.
For me, it's when they talk about where the aliens intruding this planet. They're defending their homeland. I'm like, it. For me, it was eye opening. It's like, this is exactly what's happening, and because when I was going into this movie, I thought it was just a movie about blue people. I honestly did, because all you ever see in the trailers is these blue people. I'm like, who cares? It's a movie about blue people. What's so fascinating about that?
They're growing up Smurfs.
Yeah, but once I start watching, it's like, oh, okay, so this is about a military operation going to this whole other world that has blue people. I was like, okay, now you've intrigued me, but all these trailers and all you ever see, like the T-shirts and stuff like that, it's always blue people. I'm going, big whoop.
Yeah.
Listen, there's more to the story, and the scene where they're talking about we're the aliens and that's why they're mad at us. I was like, that's absolutely right.
Yeah.
I'd say a pretty poignant moment was when he has to admit to his like lady that he is in love with, his avatar lady that
Yeah.
he's been lying the whole time. She gets real mad at him.
Yeah.
Pretty poignant scene.
Yeah, I don't know. And this is part of the quandary I have with the movies. I don't know how I would describe this to somebody now, mainly because CGI is so prevalent.
Right.
Now, like I say, back in 2009, this had been a slam dunk for me. I'd been like, you won't believe the graphics and the CGI and how this movie plays out is just amazing and wonderful, especially with the 3D glasses in the theater.
I think
I'd have
the
been like,
CGI
this
holds
is-
up. I will
this will
say
blow
that.
your mind.
The CGI does hold up.
Oh
I'd
yeah,
say.
it holds up fantastic.
Yeah.
But I just nowadays though it's so common
Mhm.
that I wouldn't. That's not a selling point now.
Right.
So that's where my problem comes in. I'd be like, well, to describe it to somebody that they need to watch it.
Yeah.
You need to watch it because the history of it, or because there's a couple of scenes in it that's pretty cool. The ideology behind it, like you said, Joe, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's a big selling point now, just because everything's CGI.
Right.
I think a younger kid might still be pretty entertained by it. Maybe I'm totally out of
Yeah,
touch
I mean,
with
I
it.
kind of agree with you.
Well,
I think it is.
like. I don't think I'd go to an adult and tell them, "Oh yeah, you gotta watch this."
Well,
Yeah.
it has explosions, so I mean, it can't be too.
That's it.
terrible.
Entertain Joe. It blows his
Joe was like,
You wait
"Yes."
until they blow up this tree thing.
Yes.
Impressive work there.
The Navi are crying when the tree explodes, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I love explosions."
I love a good
Awesome.
explosion.
Yeah, that was it's pretty.
That's true, Joe. Did
Pretty-
that entertain you? You're like, all right, well, check this out. About time we blew something up.
For one of these types of movies, which is maybe kind of cooker cutter in its story, I mean, I thought just the whole choreography of like the battles and everything, and I mean they did some pretty cool stuff with like jumping on top of like those helicopter things they're flying around. He's like throwing grenades into like these little parts of them and jumping off. I mean, it was some pretty impressive action, which maybe you can find in all sorts of other movies, like Star Wars type movies that have the same level of stuff. Certainly Avengers, they have stuff like that or better, but
Yeah, I mean, when you say that, I think back to whatever adventure movie they had where they're fighting in the city and they're jumping on the little sky motorcycle things.
Yeah.
and some of those ones I roll my eyes a little bit about some of the superhero stuff. It feels like a little bit over the top. They like to be as big as possible. This one seemed like they're flying around on make-believe animals, but they're not like just like flying through the air like Superman or something. There's like it's kind of based on reality. When the one Navi guy he jumps in and tries to like fight a bunch of guys and gets shot and falls out of the big plane, like I don't know.
It's a little more
It's
believable.
like realistic. Like
Yeah.
someone got shot and they fell to their death. I mean, it's not like they're able to somehow. Yeah.
It's not a Chuck Norris movie.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I will say this. For being written in 1994, which I was just getting out of high school and going to college. And then come to fruition 2009 and breaking the ground for CGI.
Yeah.
Beautiful film. Just beautiful.
Yes.
And like you said, Justin, it holds up.
Mhm.
Storyline with Holding, great movie.
Right.
Now, though, in this day and age, with all the good movies I've seen, it's middle of the road for me, which makes it hard.
Mhm.
Because I hate to be that way, but, I just feel like this is the same as one of the movies we did before, where it's just like
Maybe.
outstanding, groundbreaking era, but doesn't transfer
Kinda
over
like
to tell people, you got to go watch this. I wouldn't do that.
Like The General was groundbreaking, man.
Well, that
black and
was in
white.
its own way, but I mean,
At the time, it was like mind blowing, but
yeah.
so it's kind of hard to get in that mind space of like, okay, I gotta imagine that nothing like this had ever happened before.
Right, yeah.
Which I had trouble with The General. I was just kind of like, this stinks. But
I like The General.
Yeah, I still.
The General wasn't 2.5 hours long.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Yeah, I'm still not giving you grief on that one. Just
Okay.
I will
I'm
not
not
give you
either.
grief on that one.
Yeah. And that's why I like this one. I'm not going to beat it up too bad because
No.
I understand the history of it. I was, growing up in that history, so it is a big deal.
the first time Jake goes, the guy who's a paraplegic goes into the avatar body sort of thing, and he can like run again. That was kind of
Yeah.
they did a pretty good job with that scene, like making like if you had been in a wheelchair for however many years and
Yeah,
suddenly
a couple of years.
you were able to run again, you would be pretty eager to go do
yeah,
it. They're
yeah.
like, wait, can't get up yet. You gotta ease into this. He's like, nah, I'm going outside and running.
I got to run.
Yeah, it was kind of cool.
Did you guys see the ending coming? Did you see where, he was going to
No.
fully immerse into that without problems?
No.
Yeah, I didn't either.
That was kind of good
I mean,
twist.
magical, realistic,
Yeah.
but the day is saved.
Yeah, and they set that up by trying to save the lady before using that same method.
Yeah.
Try to like permanently put her into a Navi body, but
Yeah. All right, well, let's rate this baby up.
all right.
Joe,
Yeah, Joe, tell us.
come on, Joe.
I gotta say, guys.
Well, can I guess?
Yes.
Medium, right down the middle for you.
Right down the middle, Dave.
Oh, I'm medium too.
Well, what is he? Do you think he's gonna go medium?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I think he's medium. I think I'm medium. Justin, you might be the one ringer
Yeah.
that goes outside of the medium scale.
I think I'm a little higher on it than you guys, but
Guys, you guys, it's obvious we've been a few weeks away. I'm taking a large on this one.
Are you
Whoa,
really,
yeah.
Joseph?
Whoa.
Yes.
No way. That
Yes.
explosion on the tree must have been really good. Joe's like, yes! Oh, wait a minute. Am I rooting for the wrong team? What happened?
The movie entertained me, and I think I would have been. Here's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'm in the large territory
Mhm.
because I was able to watch it in pieces. Now, if I had to sit through the whole 2.5 hour nonstop, I would probably, at best, would have been in the medium.
yeah.
That I agree with you. That might have affected me because I got bored.
Yeah.
After like 2 hours of sitting, I was like, oh man. And I knew the storyline, so
So that was
I wasn't
artificial.
impressed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So being
Huh.
able to watch it in pieces puts it in a large category. If I had to watch it all the way through, it probably wouldn't have ranked as high.
Yeah.
But the CGI for the time, I mean, it's held up,
Oh yeah.
and it was phenomenal, groundbreaking at the time. The story was pretty entertaining overall. So I'm going large on this one, guys.
I got it. You swayed me to a medium overflowing. Because I agree with you. I think my mistake was I sit down and watched it all at once.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, I was like, oh, just come on already.
Yeah.
And it probably didn't help that I've seen it before. You know what I
yeah.
mean? 'Cause
Right.
I knew where the story was going,
Right.
which I think I could have sat down and figured it out anyway. But, anyway. All right, overflowing medium for me.
All right, Justin.
Justin.
Well, yeah, this is not one I'm running around telling everybody they have to see, And I think you do have to, a little bit, go back to 2009 in your time machine and give it a little bit of an extra point for that, just because, to compare it to movies today, which, honestly, I think it holds up with more modern movies in terms of the CGI. Like, it doesn't show its age big time, maybe in 10 years it will or something.
I don't know if Forrest Gump's held up pretty good.
Yeah, and the CGI is so daggone good.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how it doesn't hold up.
Right.
I mean, nothing's pixelated, nothing's goofy, and
Because
standstill moving or anything like that.
Well, and Forrest Gump's always my go-to. Is
Yeah.
that movie was released in 94, 95,
Yeah,
and there's a lot of CGI to this day you cannot.
yeah.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Dan's legs
Yes.
are gone.
Swinging off the boat, just the scene where he swings his legs around the boat. After I found out what they did, I went back and watched that scene in particular just to see if you could tell, and you cannot tell.
Nah, it's outstanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Lieutenant
maybe it'll
Dan
always
got
hold up.
magic legs.
Certainly a story that is, a little bit like tries to pull at your heartstrings a little bit, but maybe
Yeah.
Yes.
What did Cena think?
She really liked it.
Yeah. Would you let Sadie watch it?
I think if she's a little older.
Yeah.
Because she's only 6.
Right. I think like a 10, 11, 12 year
Yes.
old would love this.
Yeah.
mhm.
Because I think she would like the blue people, but
Mhm.
I think
A lot of violence.
the explosions might be a little bit too much for her. If she was
Right.
a little older, she could probably understand the story a little bit better.
Yeah.
But she'd probably be more entertained.
Yeah.
Military guy takes a freaking arrow to the chest.
Yeah.
A little bit violent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is this thing rated? PG?
13, I think.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
That's about right.
Yeah, I'm right there with Joe. I'm
You're going large.
yep, large.
Wow.
Okay.
Yep.
Good fan pick.
Yeah, I didn't hate it, and I liked having a pause. I liked having already seen it, so I didn't feel like I had to totally be like sitting there watching it, totally tuned in the entire time. I could take a break here and there, and
Yeah.
that was nice.
Okay. You got your pick ready?
I got some options. Let's see.
Ooh, here we go. Avatar
Had to-
2.
had
Here
to-
we go.
Well, Dave, I know I'd mentioned to you at one point.
Here we go.
There's a
Listen, we didn't let porn in.
we could go.
Get off of it, Justin. Come on, man. We said no. No is enough. No means no.
We've
But that's just
got
one on OnlyFans.
we've got knights and fighting in medieval times. We've got
The last duel.
The Robin Hood Men in Tights.
a much more modern movie of someone who uses technology to find his way home. And
Interstellar.
let me check the run times on this. I don't want to hit you guys with.
Oh boy.
Uh,
Here we go. Joe, I have one I really want to throw out there, but I cannot find it.
Well, what is it? Let me see if I can track it down.
I'm not gonna throw it out yet.
Okay.
I've got to wait till next week.
I'm already. I don't know whether I'm kind of torn on my picks. I don't know whether to go back to algorithms or
This is what I like about this podcast.
throw out some money on this movie.
I stay entertained with them ourselves.
Yeah.
Just because of these picks. Like I was thinking about my pick 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, man, I gotta pull out a good one here.
Because
Look at my list. My list is craziness. You ever seen this?
I've got a spreadsheet on mine.
I know you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have the algorithms working for you.
Well, no, I have a backup Word document of movies I want to
Yeah.
watch that if the algorithms fail me. But I'm also, while we're sitting here talking, I'm watching the trailer for A Man Called Otto, and I'm.
Oh, I forgot about that.
But
I read the book.
But you can only buy it, and I'm seriously considering buying it to add it to my movie collection.
Really, that good?
I'm telling you guys.
That speaks volumes if you
Yeah,
want to
but
buy it.
I've heard the same thing. I've heard good things.
I watched it in the theater, and Cena and I both loved it so much. There was debate on buying another ticket to go turn right around and watch it again that same evening.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Pluto TV, Joseph,
Yes,
is that
sir.
something we could all access?
Oh yeah,
Or
it's
we have to
free.
Yeah,
take-
it's free.
All right. Yeah, we're going. I know
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Dave might not love this, but we're going back in the same sort of category as that one Joe picked,
Howard the Duck.
Zombieland. Shaun of the Dead.
Ooh.
Really?
You ever seen it?
No.
Me
No, I
neither.
haven't either.
Me neither.
But I know it's pretty popular. It had like a big cult following.
Yep. Shaun of the Dead from 2004. Available.
I didn't mind Zombieland.
Available now on. Oh, you didn't? Okay.
No.
Pluto TV.
And Peacock.
Oh, and Peacock. Okay, good.
7.9 on IMDb. See how that shakes out. 560,000 reviews. That's a lot of people have seen it, I guess.
Huh. Okay. Shaun of the Dead. I've heard about it, and I know it got some good praise as being, you know, some cult following going on, and
Yep.
maybe wasn't appreciated for its time, but has held up.
Yeah, that completely caught me off guard.
Me too. I thought we were going with the night movie.
But yeah, it was over 2 hours, and I just couldn't do that to you. The King, 2 hours and 20 minutes. We don't need another long movie in our picks.
Do we not?
No.
Okay.
Shaun of the Dead's only an hour and 39.
Well, that now I understand why you're considering porn. That's like 7 minutes. We just watched Avatar over 2 hours. I'm gonna shorten this way up, boys.
I was looking around for short films.
You know,
I'd like to have
like
just
a Pixar
like
short film.
I'd like to do just like a 20-minute one week. So
Well,
we could,
Pixar does those little shorts.
yeah.
I couldn't find one that didn't look like totally goofy.
Or we could like change things up and pick a show and like do an entire season of a show.
Now you're just talking crazy.
Because
I know. Sitting through 30 minutes of an episode of something instead of a 2.5 hour movie. I mean,
I know what's gonna happen. We'll just end up binge watching The Office, and we'll be like, oh yeah.
And
This will
you-
become an Office podcast.
And you say that like it's a bad thing.
It's not like I didn't just get you, Shroot Farm beef mints. There.
Yes, greatly
Are
appreciate.
you gonna eat those?
I'm torn.
Me too. I should have bought 2. What flavor are they? They say?
It just says welcome mints. Because I'm torn. I want to,
I wondered if they're beet flavored. That'd have been awesome.
but I don't. I want to keep it
Yeah, I got you.
pristine.
I got my Howard the Duck comic book here.
Right,
It's not opened.
right. So I'm torn.
They're worth money someday.
You said
Joe,
so.
did you tune in at all to who won Oscars and Academy Awards, all that stuff?
No, I don't listen to that nonsense. But I
Brendan Fraser won.
Yeah.
I did see that. I saw a clip
Best actor,
somewhere.
yeah.
Yeah, and I thought good for him. He deserves that.
Plays a morbidly obese guy in the movie.
You know, they mentioned a lot of his films, but they didn't mention. I think he was in 2. Let me look him up real quick. You guys continue.
For my pick, I mean, I looked around and tried to. I considered, trying to make it Oscar themed and pick something that was either nominated or won, but they just didn't look like stuff that you guys would enjoy too much, or me.
Well, in my opinion, the Elvis movie did not get the props that it deserved.
Yeah, that's true.
But I love that movie. So
Holy cow!
what?
Brendan Fraser's in a ton of movies. Did not know that. G.I. Joe, Braveheart, Extraordinary Measures, Furry Vengeance,
George of the Jungle,
A Case.
The Mummy.
You,
Other ones I looked up, like it was like $20 to rent it too, so they know that everybody's looking into them right now. There's a Colin Farrell one, Banshees of Inisherin.
Yeah, that one's kind of messed up. I did watch it.
You did? Huh.
Yeah. Blast from the Past. Bedazzled. Monkey Bone. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Mrs. Winter.
Bedazzled. That was with him and
Glory Days. Wow.
Elizabeth Hurley, wasn't it?
Okay, so School Ties and With Honors. And he was in Airheads, which is kind of funny.
And Encino Man too, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I always loved that movie. Bringing a
Get
caveman
the weasel.
back to life. I was all about that.
Now, how have we also not covered like any Pauly Shore movies either?
That's true. Son-in-Law, that's one of the first movies.
In the Army Now?
Yeah, in the Army.
I never saw it in Army, I don't think.
In the Army Now.
That one is my go-to Pauly Shore movie.
Major Payne, did you ever see that one?
Yes, yes.
I don't remember what it was about except was it Damon Wayans? Just screaming at people?
Yeah, one of the Wayans brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's an Army guy that doesn't understand empathy, and this group of misfits and a lady. Pulling out of it.
Oh boy.
Another great military flick.
We should do like a 90s, like, over the top comedy at some point.
Dude, I'm in.
Let's do it.
Not going to be my pick, but I'm in. I got my pick now, though.
Any hints? Are you up next?
Yep.
Do we get a hint at least?
It's free on Tubi.
Ah.
Ooh.
It is 1994. You'll never guess it.
Probably another Mad Max movie.
Oh, Joe, come on, man. Just being mean. Huh. Let's see. It has. How do you figure out the IMDb rating? 6.7.
Those readings and Rotten Tomatoes went completely out the window when they ranked Pig 9 out of 10.
The popularity is going up. On popularity scale, it's 2091. Yeah. Yeah. Get some, punk.
Hmm.
Anyway, I just throw down mop buckets. You guys know this.
Yep.
Don't question it.
Shaun of the Dead. Tune in next week. Go to Pluto and watch it
Oh boy, here we go.
for free.
Shaun of the Dead. All right, well, take us out of here. Avatar.
So for more news and reviews, check out our website at beentherewatchthat.com. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast, Been There Watch That. Be sure to follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter at BTWT Pod. And all of our episodes are hosted by Anchor.fm.
All right, and a number to call, Justin, if you're unhappy with the pick.
304-927-3588.
Hey now.
Ah! I have a feeling that'll be erased out later.
Yeah. I don't know what happened, guys. The edit just kind of went crazy right there.
All right, we'll be back.
Been there? Watch that.